Hello, how y'all doing today? I'm doing good today. I couldn't stay away from you guys long. I'm hopefully I will be able this video will be able to upload because I've been doing a lot of other stuff, and I'm hoping that I continue to be able to come and do the things that I want to do because I have some very interesting topics that I'm trying to put together. And I don't consider myself a scholar, you know, but I have been talking about the last two videos, which I did earlier today, about 2 hours ago, uh, in some minutes. Um, I talked about the 7-day Sabbath, and that is the title of this, the name of the account, this channel, and I named it that for that particular purpose, because I want to try to dig up some give you a little bit of background, or at least try. I know I won't be able to cover everything in the series, but in this video, because on this channel I just created these new channels, and I'm gonna have to go to the other to the site. It's a site you go to, and you can sign up for longer minutes. But this video only gives you 15 minutes within the video, so I have to stay within the minutes of the video. And I would have to. You probably, if you hear the first part and the second part, you will know that what I'm saying. You'll realize exactly what I'm saying. So I think this is part 3 or 4. I'm just gonna say, I'm assuming that I have kind of forgot. I think it's part 4. I think it's part 4. I'm not sure. And if it is, and if I made a mistake, I'll just go back and just leave this video the way it is, and just go back and do the other part before this one. But I'm assuming that this one is a part 4. But okay. I don't want to keep changing it, but anyway, I just want to give you a little bit of background about the Sabbath. I think this will be a part 3. I think so. I think this will be a part 3. I'm not sure. I think it'll be a part 3 video. So what I'm going to do at this time, I'm going to read to you, and it's really about this king called Josiah made king. And these people, these were our ancestors. They like our forefathers to the Israelites. You remember when Jesus said in Moses spoke of it in Exodus 20 and verse 4 and 5, he said that God said that he would be visiting the iniquity unto the father, unto the third and the fourth generation. That means that he would punish the children from the third and the fourth generation of those that hated him. And he showed a lot of love and mercy to a lot of those people, our forefathers. But a lot of our forefathers wasn't obedient. Some of them just what? A lot of them was into this thing called idol worship. And some of the kings in the Bible, they built idols and made idols out of these things, And so, with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna read from. I think this is First Kings. I think it's Second Kings. I think it is. I think it's. Yeah, let me see. Just hang on a second. Yeah, this is 2 Kings 13. It says, in the third and 20th year of Josiah, the son of Azariah, king of Judah, Jehoahaz, the son of Jehu, began to reign over Israel and Samaria, and he reigned 17 years. Okay, and he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, and followed the sins of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, which made Israel to sin. He departed not therefrom. So these things is talking about our forefathers, how they went off into idol worship, and they strayed away from God. And the Bible said, and he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord. He departed not from all the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, who made Israel to sin, but he walked therein. So Jeroboam, he was a great influence, and I don't know very much about him, but I do know that these people at some point in their lives, they were not, a lot of them were not very, very faithful to God. You know what I mean? You may not get very much out of this here, and I'm doing my best to explain what I can explain. And for right now, this is just to whet your appetite or whet your mind and just put you in that mode of just thinking and getting you ready for, whenever, you know what I'm saying, as I move forward in what I'm doing, then I can bring you some more information and give it to you in a better understanding so that you will understand. So I read from 2 Kings 13 all the way through 4, I believe I read, through 6, verses 6. It says, I'll start at verse 5. And the Lord gave Israel a savior, so that they went out from under the hand of the Assyrian, and the children of Israel dwelt in their tents as before time. Nevertheless, they departed not from the sins of Jeroboam. They departed not from the sins of the house of Jeroboam, who made Israel sin, but walked therein, and there remained the groves also in Samaria. So we know that the Assyrian people, I don't know very much about them, but I do know that from what I've been hearing and what I have been reading, that they were a very influential, powerful nation of people, the Assyrians. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do some jumping, and I don't want to feel like I'm jumping all over the place and trying to give you the information that and giving it to you in a way that you can understand where I'm coming from. And I want to make sure that I do that. But basically, I read those are pieces of the stories that I read, because I know some of you may be asking the question, well, what does that have to do with Sabbath Sunday? All of these things ties in together when you put these things together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read 2 Kings 23, and I'm going to begin reading at verse 1. So here I go. It says, and the king sent, and they gathered unto him all the elders of Judah and of Jerusalem. And the king went up unto the house of the Lord, and all the men of Judah, and all of the inhabitation of Jerusalem with him, the priests and the prophets, and all the people, and both small and great. He read in their ears all the words of the book of the covenant, which was found in the house of the Lord. And the king stood by a pillar, and made a covenant before the Lord, to walk after the Lord, and to keep his commandments, and his testimonies, and his statutes with all their heart, and all their soul, and to perform the words of this covenant that were written in this book. Now that was the Mosaic book, but Moses was reading out of the law, instructing them, but this was totally different from the Ten Commandments. The book of the law was the book of Moses. Moses wrote the book of the law, but God wrote the Ten Commandments on stone. There's a difference. The one on stone is the law of liberty. The stone represents the rock of Jesus. So the Ten Commandments, if you go back in Exodus and you look at the Ten Commandments in Exodus and Deuteronomy and throughout the first 5 books of the Bible, you will see the law written in stone. Why was it written on stone? Because God wanted to make sure that they understood and know who God was, who was the one that really, that's the reason why he wrote the commandments in stone, so they'll know that he did it. Because in Numbers chapter 20, the Bible talks about God had caused Israel to drink water from the rock. And in the New Testament, in 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 4, the Bible says that, and the children of Israel, he was talking about the children of Israel, and they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Christ. In other words, that rock was Jesus. So that's why he wrote the 10 Commandments in tables of stone. And that's why I'm showing you the difference between the rock which God wrote his stones in, his commandments in, and the Sabbath commandment forms part of that commandment, where it says to remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. That commandment was formed part of the 10 Commandments. It says, excuse me, and all of the people stood to the covenant, and the king commanded Hezekiah the high priest, and the priests, and the second order, and the keepers of the door to bring forth out of the temple of the Lord all the vessels that were made for Baal. Now understand, the word Baal, that was a god. Baal means God. And so they was worshiping this in. And for the grove, and for all the hosts of heaven. And he burnt them without Jerusalem, and the field of Kidron, and carried the ashes of them unto Bethel. And he put down the idolatrous priests, whom the king of Judah had ordained to burn incenses in the high places, in the cities of Judah, and in the places round about Jerusalem. Them also that burn incenses unto Baal, to the sun, and to the moon, and to the plants, and to all the host of heaven. So what they did, they burned incenses to the moon. They burned incenses. Now, just giving you a little bit of history and a little bit of background. Sunday was named after the sun. That's right, S-U-N. That's a different. Monday was named after the moon. Monday was named after the moon, and Tuesday, it was a name. It was called. It was a name called It was Tuesday or something like that. Tuesday or something. I'm not sure. But somehow it became Wednesday. But I do know that Wednesday was. Tuesday. Sorry. Wednesday was called Woodens Day, and then it became Wednesday. Thursday was called Third Day, like Third Day or something like that. I hope I'm saying those things right, because I don't want to mislead anyone out there in what I'm saying. If you have any questions, just leave your comments below, and I will, as I go on, I will talk a little bit further about those things. But from what I can remember and from what I have read, and I read this from the book called J.N. Marcus, and he wrote in his experience. His name was J.N. Marcus, and he wrote a book called The National Sunday Law. And I found the information in that. And Friday was called Frieders Day or something like that. And then it became Friday. And Saturday was called, I think it was called Saturnia. Saturnia? I might be saying that wrong. I don't want to give you all the wrong information. But what I know I'm going to have to come back, and I know I'm going to have to do a part 4 if necessarily, if I'm saying it right. If I find out that I was wrong about the part 4 or the 3, then I'll just have to just put the link below and put the number down and below the link here. So what I'm going to do is, my minutes is up. I will just come back and do a part 2. But I want to say I love all of you African Americans, so stay tuned, and I will be back with another one. Thank you very much, and thank you for watching. Alright, bye.